Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hope everybody's having a good day. Shalom, sis. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, King. Good to see everybody. Gonna get started in a second. Give me 1 second. I can pull up the video. We're gonna get into something today, man. Madness. We're gonna get into it today, though, family. Can everybody hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, put 7s in the chat. You can hear me okay. If you can hear me, please put 7s in the chat. Cool. Okay, we got 177. Okay, good. I want y'all to be able to hear me loud and clear for this one. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear for this one. What's good? So let's just go ahead and jump right into it, man. I know y'all see the title of the video. Title of the video is Vocab Malone shows his prejudice by attempting to break down black icons. So as you know, the truth is coming out. All right. The truth is coming out. And you can't hide it. It's getting to the point where, you know, in today's time, ignorance is a choice. Ignorance is a choice. So you can't hide the fact that the original people of the book were people of color. I mean, you can't hide it. No matter what you believe, no matter if you're a Christian or whatever you believe in, you can't hide the fact that the people of the book are black in skin tone, are dark in pigmentation people, and we're not Caucasian. Okay, you can't hide that. But you have people like Vocab Malone, who's a so-called Christian apologist, so-called calls himself defending the faith. Mind you, I used to be one of those, went to school the whole 9 before I found the truth, and supposed to be trained on Christian theology and understanding the Bible, and having a certain level of understanding on Christian artifacts and history, right? So in his attempt to go into black icons, now, if you don't know what an icon is, all right, shalom, everybody, shalom. If you don't know what an icon is, okay, we're going to get the history or the understanding of what an icon is. If you look up black icons, an icon, and what we're going into today is dark images of Christ, Mary, the disciples, even priest, basically black Christian art, if that's what you want to call it. All right. For the lack of better words, black Christian art. I don't know if you guys remember, Ice Cube put up some images of black Christian art during the medieval times. Okay, so we're going to get into the history. We're going to get into, you know, these black icons, what it came from, what they are. But first, I want to play a video. Okay, I want to play a video. And we're going to go through this video that Vocab Malone did, and we're going to break it down. All right, we're going to break it down. And I'm going to show you his prejudice in this video. Okay, you'll begin to see his prejudice in this video. So let me go ahead and pull it up, share my screen. Let's get to it. I want to take too much time. All right, here's the video. So we're going to go ahead and watch this video, and I'm going to break it down. Now, I listen very well, and I want you guys to listen very well. All right. And when you really, really listen without being biased, you will begin to see the prejudice in this video. All right. And we're going to break it all the way down. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video, and we're going to show it. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
Titled Ice Cube Tweets Black Hebrew Israelite Memes on Twitter, end quote, during which he had a segment on dark imagery in general and the Black Madonna in particular, or Black Madonna depictions. And that segment, that portion went for slightly over 11 or so minutes. And I thought it was quite good.
So just for everybody to understand, this is another guy breaking down and explaining why he accepts Vocab breaking down the black icons, and after Ice Cube tweeted what he tweeted. Okay, Ice Cube, I don't know if you guys remember, Ice Cube tweeted black images, right? So this guy is breaking down Vocab Malone's video. So we're basically doing and Vocab Malone shared it, obviously, because the guy agrees with Vocab. So we're going to show the prejudice in Vocab. I don't know the race of this guy speaking, but if he's a black man, we're going to show the hatred he has for his own people in this video. If he's not a black man, we'll show his prejudice as well. Or if he's a Latino man, we'll also show his hatred for his own people as well, right? So, let's get into it.
And felt, it was one of the more fair and nuanced presentations on the subject of dark icons and Black Madonna depictions in particular. So in this video, I'd like to reproduce about 10 minutes from that segment, which is to say, almost all of that segment on the Black Madonna. Now, I'll add some images and maybe a caption to help with illustrations. And I'll have a bit to say near the beginning and again at the end. But most of what will appear here will just be Vocab's presentation on the subject as it appeared in that live show from back in June. So we'll pick up at about an hour and 13 minutes into the video.
I think it's time to talk about Black Madonnas. I think it's time. Darker iconography, okay? It is a part of Catholic art history. That's a fact.
Now, notice how he says, and we're going to go through because I have some books. Shout out to the sister Janet. She donated some books, some very important books, and we're going to go into it. But notice how he starts off by saying, I don't want you guys to get caught up in their verbiage, because a lot of times what these guys do is they use certain words and pronunciate certain words to appear as if they know what they're talking about. But notice how he says and tries to put this off as subtly, it's Catholic art. Now, I'm going to show you why this is a lie. This is not just Catholic art. Black icons are not just Catholic art. This was art in general during the medieval or the dark age period times of biblical figures. This is just art in general. We're gonna take a trip through history because I love history, and we're gonna show that this is not just Catholic art. This was the art of the known time at that time of biblical figures, before iconoclasm and before the Renaissance, which we're going to get into what iconoclasm is, because he says it, but he goes over it. He says it, not expecting you to know what it is. We're going to go through what iconoclasm is and what Renaissance is. So that's another lie right there. This is only Catholic art. No, that's not true. This was art, period, at that time before the time of the Renaissance. Okay, let's keep watching.
And guess what? Roman Catholics know it. So do Protestants, at least the ones who are the iconoclasts, especially.
See, now, notice what he said. We're going to break it down. He said Roman Catholics know it, and Protestants. Notice how he says Protestants without saying Christians. Protestant was the known name for Christians during that time, during that medieval time for Christians. Protestants were the ones who broke off, which was Martin Luther, who broke off from the Catholic Church, all right, and started the Christianity that we have, a variation of the Christianity that we have today, because Christianity went through different phases of growth, all right. Protestants broke off from the Catholics, and then after the Protestant broke off from the Catholics under Martin Luther, they came into America, and it was a new Christianity born in America, which allowed slavery. Okay, but that's a whole nother lesson in itself. But notice how he tries to put it in there and slide it in there as, yeah, Catholics, He tries to blame it on just Catholic art, but then say, oh, also Protestants too, real quick and subtle, without you really going into the history or knowing, no, this was known art at this time. All right, let's keep watching.
Actually, all right. It's not a surprise. It's not a big secret like the Hebrewites like to try to act sometimes. They act as if they're uncovering hidden secrets. No. There's whole books on the cult of the Black Virgin, academic books and also books by feminist authors, as well as those who are more mystical. I've been looking into this. There's numerous perspectives they approach it from. This is not a conspiracy theory to the Hebrewites. You uncover this.
Some people act as though when they find a dark icon, they are uncovering some long hidden secret. You know, some out there will insinuate that there has been a conspiracy to hide dark icons and that the truth is now starting to trickle out. The reality, however, is that these things were never hidden. You know, these dark images were never hidden, and those who sincerely argue otherwise honestly are telling us more about how limited their own personal experiences were than they are about the reality which existed beyond their experiences.
Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what they just said. Now they're trying, this is what they're going to try to do, right? They're going to try to insinuate or make a claim that these images are not hidden, right? Notice how the guy that's speaking says these images are not hidden, but there might be, because of your limited view or limited understanding of these images, and you did not know them in your respective area, or it wasn't made known to you, doesn't mean that it was hidden. Well, no, on the contrary, that does mean that it's hidden, because if we have black images of Christ, black images of the Madonna, and out of this man's own mouth, that's why you got to listen. I listen to words and I listen to people speak. Out of your own mouth, it's because of our limited understanding of these images. Exactly. Because what has been pushed to us in the black community, in the Christian church from years and years and years, white images. No black images have been pushed as hard as white images. A lot of us as Christians growing up did not have any idea that there was even black images to be uncovered or to be known, period. Because in the church, Jesus is a white man. Mary is a white man. If I Google Jesus, it's going to be images of all white men. If I Google Mary, it's going to be images of all white women. If I Google any biblical figure, it's going to be images of all white people. So yes, our limited view and our limited understanding is because what has been pushed on us. So you contradicted yourself in just that statement. It has been hidden in plain sight. Why? Because it hasn't been publicized or pushed. Why isn't this knowledge being pushed? And why is this knowledge just now coming out? Because people are finding out. I didn't know about black icons when I was 15 in the Christian church. I didn't know about black icons when I grew up as a Christian and my grandmother took me to Christian Sunday school. All the images of Jesus was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man. All the movies we have is of a white man. So how do you expect us to just wake up one day and just know, oh, there's black icons out there? And then you blame it on our limited view. Our limited view is only what has been given to us. So that's why we say these images are hidden, just so you can put respect on us as Israelites. The reason why we say these images are hidden is because it hasn't been broadcast to us. Vocab wouldn't teach this. Vocab wouldn't even go into this, and this is going to show his prejudice. Vocab wouldn't go into this history unless it was uncovered by who? Israelites. Uncovered meaning we're bringing the knowledge to the public. You understand? When you think of black people, you don't think of black images of Jesus. So why isn't this knowledge passed down? So let's back it up a little bit more. Listen to what we're going to break down what these brothers are saying.
They're telling us more about how limited their own person, that the truth is now starting to trickle out. The reality, however, is that these things were never hidden. You know, these dark images were never hidden, and those who sincerely argue otherwise honestly are telling us more about how limited their own personal experiences were.
Yes, our personal experience were limited because it was only what we got was white images of Christ prior to the internet coming out. See, the internet made a lot of this information available. But it's safe to say if the internet had never even came out, we wouldn't probably even have as much as the information as we have today on black icons. So yes, limited. Why? Because the ones that control the public view on what Jesus looks like and what the disciples look like and what the biblical characters look like, and the preachers that go to these theology schools are not getting educated on this history. So yes, I would say our view is very limited by the ones that control mainstream religion. Absolutely.
Than they are about the reality which existed beyond their experiences. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not trying to disparage or disrespect anyone, so I'll put it this way. If you grew up in, like, let's say, some rural part of the country, I can understand if your experiences with Christian art were limited.
Now, he said, I can understand if you grew up in some rural parts. No, that's a lie. And your understanding of Christian art is limited. What are you talking about? I grew up a Christian all my life. Nobody was talking about Christian art, and especially black Christian art. Who was teaching us? In order for you to know something, you have to be taught. Nobody was teaching us these things. These things were hidden in plain sight. Nobody was teaching us about black icons. But watch this.
However, if you grew up in a place like New York City or, the Northeast in general, then there were honestly dark images all around you. And, if you didn't see them, if you never encountered them, that might speak more to what I was saying. It might speak.
Duh, we didn't encounter them and we didn't see them. Why? Because it wasn't publicized. That's like me seeing white images of Christ all my life for 20 years. You think I'm gonna randomly just know, oh, that image is supposed to be a black man? If I'm not looking for it, because in the church they teach you that color doesn't mean anything, but color only doesn't mean anything when it's when it comes to the images being dark. That's the only time color doesn't mean anything. Other than that, everybody accepts Jesus as a white man. Watch this.
Speak more to the limitations on your own experience, not what actually existed in your environment. But I'll share a few examples.
Our limited experience. So now they're trying to downplay, oh, it's because you're limited experience of black art and you didn't know. Shut up. Ain't no Christian knew about no damn black art. Shut up. When I first came into the truth, I told my grandma the Jews was black. She told me it didn't even matter. Had no idea there was even black art. Had white Jesus all in the church on that stainless steel glass or whatever you want to call it. I ain't had no understanding of this. But see, this is you're trying to cover this information that's coming out, but you can't stop it. And I'm going to show the prejudice in this video.
In the 80s, I personally saw processions of a statue of, a replica of Our Lady of Montserrat outside St. Bridget's Church on Avenue B in Lower Manhattan. So, for those who are familiar with Lower Manhattan and the Lower East Side, try to imagine people carrying a statue of the Black Madonna of Montserrat around Tompkins Square Park.
You researched this, brother. Stop it. You act like you just knew this. You researched this. I can tell by how you're going into it. You didn't know this shit. Excuse my language. I gotta keep it real. And then you act like we Catholics. First of all, majority of Catholics are in Latino in descent. And they dang sure ain't looking for no black images. When the Pope comes, it's all Latino, my Latino brothers and sisters. Because they were the ones that were taken over by the Spanish conquistadors and forced to be Catholics when they were natives. So us black people grew up Christians. So when you talking about these images being held, we ain't looking at these images. We don't care if the Pope come here. You don't see a whole bunch of black people lined up to go see the Pope. And why would a Latino even care if he sees a white image or a black image, not knowing who he is? So you expect us just to, oh, well, it was in your face. That's so stupid. Well, look, they had it tucked in the vault far away by the Pope. Look, it was right there. You didn't see it? Who was looking for it? Because we had no idea with all the white images bombarded in our face. But we're going to bring it out today. Watch this.
Aside from that, on East 13th Street in Manhattan, there was a storefront shrine to the Sicilian Black Madonna of Tindari.
And why all these pictures He pulling up. Look how they in the cut. They black and white. They real quick. They're not even, you got to zoom in to see. But with a white image, it's right there in your face. Why is it that I got to look this hard for a black image? And it's so easy to find a white image. Why? But we don't talk about that. That's how you know this is prejudice. Because anytime blackness comes out, we got to have a understanding of why and a rebuttal to it. Why? Why we just can't accept that the images were black before iconoclasm, before the Renaissance? This shows the prejudice that they don't even know they have. Watch this.
It was there for decades, for most of the 20th century.
And Khan, he said they don't, my boy Salas, they don't push no black Madonna in the Catholic Church in the ghettos. I know they don't. This picture he pulling up old as hell. They don't promote this. Normally, when you see pictures of the black Madonna, it's either in the Vatican or somewhere in a more white majority area. And then they don't even push it like that. It's just in the background. You would just have to happen to be looking for it and catch it. You're acting like they putting it in your face that these images are black.
And that block even held a feast every September, right up until the end of the 70s, right up until...
Look how old this is. So now, in order for him to prove his point, he got to go to pictures in the damn 70s? They make new white art every day with Christ. Why? This is why we say it's hidden. You got to go back to the 70s and get this? Look how old this picture is. Why the hell this picture so goddamn old? Why is it that all the pictures that we do have is old? Or why are the shots that we do have, because there are video of the Pope bowing down to the Black Madonna, why the shot quick? And you got to pause it and zoom into the Black Madonna. It's not like they putting it out there. Like, don't act like they putting it in our face. Goddamn liars. And you think we stupid because you use big words to over-explain it. We're going to show how they over-explain shit. Excuse my language, but I'm going to be real. Paul says, man, I speak how I speak, to gain men. I got to speak real like this. We're going to show how the BS language they use and the over-explanation to try to deter you from the real point at hand is, why are these images black in the first place? Watch this.
The end of the 1970s. Aside from that, inside St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Who the heck is going into St. Patrick's Cathedral? See, I gotta let it finish, man, because I don't want to take too much time. But who the hell is going into St. Patrick's Cathedral? It's 82 people watching. Who has been to the St. Patrick's Cathedral? I haven't. Who has? Put you have if you've been to the St. Patrick's Cathedral and seen this image. But talk about your limited view. That's why you didn't know that there were black images. No, we didn't know it was black images because that's not what the people who control the world push out. They only push out Caucasian images. And I wonder why.
Which, by the way, is the seat of the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of New York. There's a shrine to the Black Madonna of Czestochowa, again, whose feast day is today. And that isn't something from the past. That shrine is there at St. Patrick's Cathedral right now, today. Then, aside from that, there's St. Stanislaus Church, which is on East 7th Street in Manhattan. When you go inside that church, you'll see that the centerpiece above the altar, right at the front of the church, is an icon of the very same Black Madonna of Czestochowa. And I want to reiterate and emphasize that the icon of the Black Madonna is not tucked in some side chapel. Rather, it's at one of the most prominent spots.
It's not tucked away like it's hidden. You see, this is ignorance at its finest. When we say these images are hidden, we're not talking about they're tucked away. A lot of them are tucked away at the Vatican. All right, but we're saying that we're saying that it's not pushed out and this knowledge is not known to us prior to us finding out we were Israelites and researching and finding, like you researched all of this. Why is it that we have to research this? Why isn't this just put out there? That's what we mean. So don't be condescending. Make it seem like we just, well, it's not hidden. It is hidden in plain sight. We didn't know none of this information. This is why they can't handle the truth. Truth is coming out. Celebrities are speaking to it. You can't stop it. People are leaving the Christian church. It's nothing you're going to be able to do to justify the lies that the Christian church have propagated.
Spots right at the front of the church. You know, it's the entire congregation is facing in that direction. And then, you know, if we go beyond New York, there's the National Shrine of Our Lady of Czestochowa. So a national shrine.
Who is going there? Who the hell is going to? Why we just can't Google this and see it? Why we can Google everything else, but when we can't Google this? If we Google now we putting it on the internet. So now when you Google it, you gotta search it. You gotta know what to put. Why you just can't put Mary and see that she's black? Or why you can't just put Christ and see that he's black? Why is it that when you just simply put those words in, they all white?
Dedicated to the Polish Black Madonna in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It's this large shrine dedicated to the Black Madonna has been there for decades, and it's not an insignificant place. You know, on the contrary, when the shrine was first dedicated in 1966, the President of the United States, Lyndon Johnson, attended the dedication ceremony. And then, if you go on a little 45-minute drive from the shrine of the Black Madonna in Doylestown, you can reach Philadelphia's Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul, the depiction of La Virgen de Guadalupe, which you see here. And by the way, on an interesting side note, the Mexican depiction of La Virgen de Guadalupe is actually named after a Black Madonna depiction in Extremadura, Spain.
So now he's going in to try to prove, oh, these images were never hidden. And he shows himself to be a fool, because I bet you half of us on this chat, without first studying it, had no idea what the hell he's even talking about. Nobody even knew what, and prior to us understanding we was Israelites, nobody would even know what the hell he's even talking about. And even now, with me coming into the knowledge, I don't even know these churches he's referencing. So, but I'm supposed to just know.
Spain, which was the subject of you know, some of the sorts of medieval legends of miraculous protection that Vocab will mention later on in this video.
Medieval. Now, notice how they watch what Vocab does. Watch the prejudice in this, man. We're going to look up the definition of prejudice so y'all can know what it is. Matter of fact, let's do it real quick right now. Let's look up the definition of prejudice, because somebody might be like, Vocab's not prejudice. But you got to understand what prejudice means. All right, let's look up. All right, this is prejudice. Okay, let's get this definition so I can prove that Vocab Malone is prejudice. It says a liking or dislike for one rather than another, especially without good reason. She has a prejudice against department stores. Why is Vocab prejudice in this video? Because he has to go into a extensive breakdown on why images are black to try to desensitize you on black images, but you don't see him going into why white art, or where did white Christian art come from? Why don't we have a video of Vocab Malone breaking down where white art came from? Why is it not a problem to have white Christian art, but as soon as Ice Cube posts black images, that is a problem, and I have to do a breakdown to explain it? Because you're prejudiced. You like the white images. Oh, well, Christ is an olive color. Then why the hell you didn't do a video of why Christ is white when he's really olive? Because it was fine. Prior to him being black, it was fine. There was no reason to do a breakdown. There was no reason to go into history. There was no reason to give an explanation of why and this and the. There was no reason to do it. But now that Christ, why is it a reason now that we're finding black images? Because you're prejudiced, a liking or dislike for one rather than the other, especially without good reason. She has a prejudice against department stores, a feeling of unfair dislike directed against an individual or a group because of some characteristics as race or religion. You have a feeling and you have a dislike, an unfair feeling and dislike, because you don't need to explain white Christian art. But whenever we discover black Christian art, black icons, we got to have a whole reason of why. It just can't be because they were black. It just can't be because they were simply black. It has to be some underlining explanation of black mythical practices at that time. It couldn't just be they were black. You are prejudiced, homie. You prejudiced. And it shows you. And all you coons that follow this dude are just coons and house niggas. This is prejudice. And black people are prejudiced against their own skin tone, because you should be happy. Like, damn, we not just thugs. We not just killers. We got black Christian art. I'm going to look into that. But instead, you hate your own self because you go against it. I have videos of black people, Vocab Malone getting black people to go against why black art, or to talk down against black icons. But they never talk down against white icons. I wonder why. I wonder why. This just shows your prejudice. I'm happy you did this video. You a damn prejudiced bastard. And I don't care if you mad at that. Black, so-called black people, Latino people, you should be happy that you see characters of renown painted in your skin tone. That should make you proud. That should make you proud. So Vocab's prejudice. He has a disliking. And don't say, oh, I never had a disliking. You do. Because why do you have to have a video defending why icons are black? And you don't have a video. I need to see the video of when the icons turn white and why they're white. Why don't have a video on that? Since it's an olive color. Tell me why they changed it from an olive color. Why, if these were olive color people, like they try to say, then tell me and give me the history of how this image got white then, because that white image is not an olive color. But you don't have no videos like that. But you got videos trying to justify or give understanding of why these images are black. You prejudiced. Let's get back to the video. So this is why I said he's prejudiced. I like to look up words to prove my point. And I listen to what y'all really say. This is going to show your ass. Watch this.
Video. I want to briefly touch on the issue of popes and the Black Madonna, because, you know, there's certain folks on the internet who they'll show an image of a pope before a Black Madonna depiction and declare something along the lines of, look what the pope does in secret, you know. But the reality is that such photos were not taken surreptitiously. You know, they weren't taken by secret cameramen or something like that. Rather, the Pope is almost always at a well-known public shrine, you know.
Do you see this foolery? This semantics? This is semantics 101 right here. Well, it's not really hidden. The Pope did this in a public setting. The Pope did this in a public setting. Wasn't hidden. When has the Pope ever said that and did a whole lecture on black icons? When has the Pope ever said that Jesus was really a dark-skinned man and we have the icons to prove it? Never. Never. But yet you want to make it seem just because you can, it's not really hidden, but is it publicized? That's the question. Why is this history not publicized to the world? Why?
Let's take, for example, the current Pope, Pope Francis, showing honor to the Black Madonna of Aparecida in Brazil. So this was far from some sort of secret or private act. Rather, he did so at one of the largest churches in the world, the Basilica of the National Shrine of Our Lady of Aparecida in Brazil. And I'll play a clip, and as you watch it, note how large the church is and how many people are in attendance. You know, a secret known by thousands of people and transmitted around the globe is not.
How you know 1,000 people understand about the black icons? When you got one little small white black image, but then you got a whole bunch of white images right next to it. And who the hell is in these assemblies? I don't even know when this stuff is taking place. It's not publicized to the masses like that. Like how rap music is, or like how Nicki Minaj shaking her ass is, or how Cardi B shaking her ass is. It's not publicized like white Jesus is. But this just goes to show your prejudice. It has to be a defense when it comes to the dark images.
Not actually a secret. It's just news.
We don't know unless they specifically say the intention of any particular image maker. We just don't know.
Now watch this foolery. This is a one of the most brilliant smokescreen artists ever. You're gonna see what he does. Watch what he does. I don't even watch. We'll get into it. Watch what he does.
Now, there's Catholic legends that a lot of these Black Madonnas were actually made by Luke. Yeah, Dr. Luke, the one who.
Now, this is what Vocab Malone does all the time, because I know people like him, and I went to seminary school like people like him. Forget the point. The smokescreen is this: I'll over-explain something that doesn't need to be explained to get your mind off the point, to make it appear I'm knowledgeable. That's what people like him do all the time. It's called a red herring. I'm going to explain something that has nothing to do with the point of why they're Black. I'll just explain something, over explain something that doesn't go into the point of vocab. Why are these people Black? Why are these images Black? He'll over explain something that has nothing to do with the topic to get the person that's not really learned to think, oh, he knows what he's talking about. That's called a setup. Take verbal judo. Verbal judo is literally verbal warfare, right? How you verbally can go into battle. So if I say enough good flashy words and over explain something, then the average mind will automatically think I know what I'm talking about, when really I don't know a goddamn thing of what I'm talking about. Watch this. This is what he does all the time.
Who wrote Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, author of the third gospel, as it's called, that he made a bunch of them, and then in some instances, Peter later transported them.
Why is that even important? Why is that even important? That Catholic methodology, as you said, is that Luke and Peter and John created these Black images. Why is that even important to know? We don't need, there's no proof of that. You know that. You know there's no proof of that. But that's him trying to low-key slide a downplaying of the Black images to go into Catholic belief. Now watch what he does, because I'll break down what he says. Watch what he does.
I don't buy into these Catholic legends. There's no historical.
See, now he's going Catholic legends. What? We don't need to know that shit. Wait, we know that there's no proof of that. The point is, why are these images Black? Give a damn about no Catholic legend. You see, going into something that has no meaning, no point. And he's going to give different theories of why these images are Black. So now he's going into Catholic legend, because in the average mind, you're going to believe that these Black images are just what Catholic legends. At the end of this video, you'll see, we'll piece it together what he's really saying, bypassing all his big words. We'll see what he's really saying. At the end of this video, you'll find out that what he's really saying is the Black images could be linked to just Catholic tradition or Catholic legend of protection. And that's why they made these images Black. Not because these people are actually Black, but these images were created Black to go into some type of protection. But doesn't go into, oh, they're just Black because they painted the images because the people of who they were painting or imitating were Black prior to a certain time period. Now, we ain't going into that. It has to be some type of Catholic mythology or methodology.
Historical reason too. But they try to say, the Catholics, that Luke actually made some of them. But in reality, we don't know most of these people, especially when it comes to icons. Icons, especially in the Eastern tradition, are not supposed to be signed because they're not considered paintings. The icons in the Eastern tradition, now I know we're talking about icon statues, there's different things here, right? In the Eastern tradition are actually considered to be written, and they're supposed to be exegeted.
Why do we need to know? We don't care about that. I want you to go into why are these images Black. Now you're going into something, you over explaining something that doesn't even go. We don't care when they painted it, it was supposed to be exegeted. We don't care about that. Why are the images Black? And why were they changed? And why weren't they publicized? Watch this.
You can actually find instances where there will be Catholics or Orthodox guys who will bring up a painting beside them, an icon, and actually preach from it as if it's a text. I've seen this. It's online. That's the way they view this. So we have to realize there's a deeper thing about how to read these going on for the...
Now, you see how he set that up? They can't just be Black because these were Black people. We have to understand why they're Black. You see the prejudice? The prejudice? We have to understand why they're black, because the people that were drawing these images, a lot of times we got to go into the exegesis or the understanding of why these images are black. Why they can't just be black because they were black people. Because the truth is coming out and you can't hide it anymore. That's why.
Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox traditions, okay? I don't agree with it, but that's a fact, okay? We don't know a lot of times, most of the time, hardly ever, who made these.
Why does that matter? We don't know who made these. Why does that matter? Because you're moving in subtlety and you're trying to discredit the art. We don't know who did these. We don't know. Obviously, somebody in Europe did it. And whoever did it in Europe were of a dark skin pigmentation, because they created, anybody knows that your God or your powers are people of power, and your tradition is going to be your skin tone. We know that. That's why white people paint all of the images white. That's why the Chinese gods are all Chinese. If you go to any race of people and go see their god, their original gods, we're not talking about westernized culture. We're talking about Eastern culture or culture around the world. Their gods always look like them. And you can see it in Western culture too, because who controls America? The white man does. And all God, the images of God are white. So the reason why these images are black is simply because the person that created these images was black. And we can prove it because this was during the dark age time. And the people who ran the European world during the time of the dark ages were people of color. And I can prove that too today. Let's keep listening.
When they were made, for sure. So it ends up with speculation. So with that, what can we say? Number one.
And Yehuda 71, Yehuda 71, we understand that the point, stay on topic of the video. The point of the video is that the images were dark. Okay. We got more images. All right. We got tons and tons of images of black art. That's the point, Yehuda. Stay on topic. We're not saying that that's Christ. We're not saying that that's Mary. Personally, scriptures say we don't know. The scriptures say don't make no images. But we understand that they were making images at that time of people of brown pigmentation. That's the point, Yehuda. So stay on topic. Okay, that's the point. So because a lot of people like to do that. We're not saying that is Christ, but we're acknowledging we're acknowledging the fact that there was black icon art, and at a certain period this art stopped. And why did it stop? And this devil is trying to explain it without really getting into the truth of why this art stopped. That's the point.
Some were deliberately painted dark. That is true. Now,
see, some of them were deliberately painted dark. That is true. We know that to be true. This devil, man, he's so smooth in his words.
There's a variety of reasons. Let's get possible reasons.
Why does there have to be a reason of why these icons are dark in the first place? Why you don't give possible vocab? Can you give possible reasons of why images are white? Can I hear your breakdown on why we have white images today? Can I get a video on that? But why do you have to go? This is showing your prejudice. You're a prejudice.
One possibility, of course, is the most obvious, that the artist guessed that the given subject looked that way, meaning the artist thought the person they were portraying was dark like that. So the artist...
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever did these images, now he throws in a little truth in there, but watch what he does. He's going to deflect. The images, they thought the images were dark, and the people that they created, the images and the people that they created the image based off of was a dark pigmentation. We're going to prove that.
This would assume the subject, Black Madonna or Christ in this case, were dark-skinned. There is a long and widespread history of Black Madonnas and Black Christ depictions. Boo has a family member, like I said earlier, who's actually done research on the medieval Spanish opinions on this subject. It's kind of fascinating. There are some clergy during that day who thought the darker depictions were more authentic. And some of them even transmitted these legends about some of these images being miraculously protected from touch-ups. I kid you.
Why can't you just accept the fact that the images were black? Why do you have to go into a deep explanation of why? Sick. And our people just eat this dude up because they hate themselves. They don't want to know that the history of Christ and the disciples originally were people of color. They'll rather listen to this dude give them flashy words and lie to them.
You're not. And during that medieval period, there are some people in Spain who had thought that the certain darker depictions of Mary were more authentic, basically. Some thought that these darker depictions would be miraculously protected by God or could protect.
Why does he have to look? Somebody said he is speaking for the artist. Why does he have to speak for the artist in the first place? Why do you have to speak for the artist in the first place? Do we speak for the artist of a white Jesus? SR, do we speak to the image? Why has he even got to go into it? When we say a white image of Christ, we just shut up and accept it. Why do we go into the explanation of why they made him white? Do we? Have I ever seen a Christian apologist break down why Jesus is white in the imagery? That's the whole point. Why do you got to go through a large, extensive breakdown when simply, like you said, the artist viewed the people he was depicting as black? That's simple. Simple. Prejudice at its finest.
There's an example, I guess, that you can find if you look through the literature that I'm aware of, that a soldier would run into battle versus Muslims holding a black Madonna image instead of a sword, and then attribute victory to the image being on the battlefield, and then that would be cited as evidence for the authenticity of the image.
So now you want to go into why they did the image instead of the point of the point of contention is, when did these images begin to turn white and why? I don't give a damn about what they felt in the battlefield. You got people that got crosses on their neck right now, which is an idol, that feel like if they wear the cross, they protect it. I don't give a damn about why and who and what and your opinions of why they did this. The point is, why are they black and why did they change? And why did this black art stop? That's what we want to know, Vocab Malone.
This is the medieval era we're talking about. What's another reason they might be darker? Sometimes they were...
Con SR. I wasn't trying to attack you. Con. I see what you were saying. Con, if you... Con, okay. You know, I didn't mean to come at you, but I get what you're saying. You're saying that was hypocrisy being noticed, bro. Okay, all praises. You was noticing the hypocrisy. Salakia. I thought you was defending them. Salakia.
Were originally made black in this way because in the Middle Ages there were theologians who supported a allegorical or mystical understanding.
So now notice how he's putting the black images with mystical and allegories. So these are not, they have to be allegories. Y'all got to catch what this devil is saying, man. Devil just means deceiver. You got to catch what this deceiver is doing. They're allegories and mythical. So the black images are all allegory and mythical, meaning you take away from the degree that they could be factual. Let's look up what allegory means. All right. Allegory. A story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. So this is an allegory, meaning it has to be, the reason why they're black has to be interpreted. It can't just be that these images were painted black because of the people that they painted the image of or portrayed the image in the picture were just simply black. No, it has to be an allegory. It has to be some type of hidden meaning behind these pictures. It can't just be these people were black. It has to be a hidden meaning. Your prejudice. Because why is it not a hidden meaning with the white images? Why? Why? And SR got you, King. Like I said, I Salakia for that. I thought you was defending him. You know, I'll be getting in the spirit sometimes. So Salakia, I know you said you were speaking from pointing out his BS for speaking to the artist. Khan, got you, King. Got you. My apologies once again for misinterpreting your message. All right, let's keep watching.
Song as in Song of Songs or Song of Solomon. I'm not trying to say psalm. It's hard to get out of my mouth. Songs 1:5, they would say that it mystically refers actually to Mary. And so, for example, talking about Sicily again, there's a Sicilian Black Madonna in Tindari. It literally quotes Songs 1:5 on its base. You can see it. Nigerasum et formosa.
Khan. See, he got to go into these explanations of why. When, like you said, Arya, all right, Sir Arya, absolutely. We ruled at the time of the Dark Ages, just simple as that. And I have literature that we're going to go with that. I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull out the images showing you that we ruled during the time of the Dark Ages. The reason why these images were black, because black people were ruling at this time. And they understood that the original people were black. Everybody understood that. It wasn't until the Renaissance and iconoclasm that the images started to be white. I want to see Vocab go into that.
There's a medieval Iberian practice, that's Spanish and Portuguese, of interpreting Songs 1:5, applying to the Black Madonna. And so you can find it in Italy and Spain. And I just mentioned one at the shrine there, Black Madonna in Sicily.
I'm gonna give you the name of the book after we finish this video, Aki. I got a couple books we're gonna go into.
And look, if you want to find this stuff, you can run a Google image search on the phrase Madonna Nera, Nera, space D-I, space T-I-N-D-A-R-I, Tindari. The English equivalent is the Black Madonna of Tindari, or a variation. And you'll get lots of pictures of that famous statue. And you'll see on the base of the statue in Latin, Nigra sum sed formosa. Wait, yeah. Oh, I mispronounced one of the words earlier, but you get the same idea. That's basically the ancient Latin Vulgate translation of "I am black but beautiful." And so some of the clergy, as I mentioned, especially the Spanish and Portuguese one, thought that these were more authentic, and they would apply Song of Solomon 1:5 to it. It's a very highly allegorical interpretation of the text, obviously, and basically makes this wife of Solomon a cryptic prophecy about the Black Madonna, which would be inaccessible to the average reader, but they saw this black and beautiful reference as literal, basically.
See, and so now he's going into the reason why they did in this particular image, the Black Madonna was referencing Songs of Solomon. First of all, that was Solomon that was speaking. When you read that whole chapter, you see it was going in and out from a female perspective and a male perspective. Those are the Songs of Solomon. It says, I am black but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, look not upon me. Why would the daughters of Jerusalem look upon another woman? For beauty. In that chapter, it was going in and out of a female and male perspective that was still written by Solomon, just like we have songs today written by males. To the left, which is a song that Beyonce sung, was written by Neo. All Solomon was doing was showing you the relationship between, if you get into what it really was about, the relationship between Israel and God. But he wants to give an explanation of why, and then goes into it and says, people say this is literal when it says I am black but beautiful. It literally says that. But it has to be an explanation behind why these characters are being referenced as black and why these images are being referenced as black. It can't just be simply because they were black, just like white people are Jesus and these disciples just because they're white. It has to be a prejudice behind it. We got to explain why.
It actually says black but beautiful if you read the text, but some of them made it different in the way they actually worded, which is black and beautiful. Now,
does it even matter if it's black and beautiful? Or let's go back and see what he tried to.
but some of them, basically, and so, it actually says black but beautiful if you read the text, but some of them made it different in the way they actually worded, which is black and beautiful.
It doesn't matter. The point is, it's black. Black but and black and. The point is, they're black. See, this is semantics. All right, let's get through the video.
Now, I discussed the most obvious way. These are just the facts that we know from speculation, what we can try to gather. And the next one is true. My guess is the second I mention this will become the whole topic that all Hebrews talk about. But the fact is,
your whole video is the whole topic of what we're going to talk about, because you're a damn liar and you a smooth talking deceiver.
It's true. Okay? It's just a fact. The other reason potentially why some of these are darker, I said some.
You see how he said that? So he had to slide that in. It's fact that they were black. Now he's going to go into why. Okay, yeah, some of them were the fact that, yeah, it was just because they were black. People that were painting, they were just black. And then I'm going to the other reasons of why some of them are black.
This is more relates to the icons. Is through the process of oxidation, accumulation.
Look what this dude is going to say. Watch what he says of why some of these images are black, and have no proof of this. Watch what he says.
Of soot, those two things. It is true that some of the older icons really did darken over long periods of time of sharing a space with candles and incense.
He's going to say that some of these images got black over time because of candles and incense made them black. So they was white at first. And then how long, what, thousands? How long? You telling me that little black smoke that comes from a candle made the walls black, these paintings black? The detail on these paintings in the face. Do you think we stupid, Vocab? He must think we dumb as hell. Yeah, and some of them, yeah, okay, some of them were really black, but some of them turned black over time because of candles, because of the little smoke that comes from candles. Wow. Yeah, right. The candles just made their faces and their hands black. They just can't be black. They just can't simply just be black. It has to be a reason, even to the point where it's a dumbass reason. From candles. Right. Their white clothes didn't get black, but their faces and hands were the only things that got black. Oh, and the candle also made in the picture them have afros. So the candle manipulated their hair wow. This is crazy. This is sad, man. And people gonna believe this fool because he talks well.
Because guess what? Smells and bells. The Catholics, and especially the Orthodox, I got all this other stuff going on, and it affects the surface. Now, the candles and incense can have different effects on different colors. And actually, there's a video online that you can watch. I might try to post it later. And
now he's taking a painting, we don't know what from, and he's trying to show how they're scraping off the blackness from the faces of these paintings. Bro, it's a historical fact that there were no white images prior to iconoclasts. Like you said, all of the older images before the iconoclasm movement were all black. All of them. Or dark in pigment and coloration.
when these accretions get removed, it has a more dramatic darkening effect. Sometimes they can tell once it's removed on like a pinkish beige color, which is employed for the depiction of skin. But then it doesn't affect other things the same way. Now, some people are going to say, "Oh, that doesn't sound right," but it's just the facts. I have a friend who talks about when he moved into this little apartment that he burned a lot of candles and incense over a 5-year period, and it dramatically altered the light beige walls in the house, but had no effect on darker items in the house, like his cupboards. So it only affected something. You know what I'm saying? And also, we have to understand when we see one thing that's affected one way and one thing that's affected another way, we have to ask ourselves all kinds of questions. Have these items been moved over the decades? Was one higher or lower than the other? Because a lot of times the higher portions, for example,
so now he's
darkened.
Now he's going into a stupid ass explanation of why these images are black. And they can't just be simply because they're black. It has to be, and this shows why he's prejudiced. And I'm going to bring out some scriptures too. It just can't be because they were simply black.
If they were under the same conditions, then the differences in the painting themselves could account for some things. One depiction is darker than the other, even before accretions begin. That's very possible. And you have a dark skin, a light skin, and these both have long histories in the history of Christian art, and these are just realities. Now, I gave you some information on the Black Madonna. You have to buy some books. I'll try to remember to drop a link here for a book that's free. It's a 16th century Spanish work by Padre Pedro de Burgos. He's a Catholic abbot from Spain, and he talks about Black Madonna there in Catalonia. And you can look there, and there's some key images there, specifically pages 34 to 35. If you look, you'll see what I'm talking about.
The book Vocab mentioned at the end, or at least alluded to at the end. And this is the book right here. Libro de la Historia y Milagros Hechos a Invocación de Nuestra Señora de Montserrat by Padre Pedro de Burgos, who was some sort of abbot of a monastery back in the 1500s. Now, I'll share a link to this book in the video description. Before I get to the pages which Vocab referenced, I first want to show something from a few pages earlier, which is the back of page 32. Now, note that in this particular work, each numbered page is treated as two-sided, front and back, or recto and verso, as they say. So on the back of page 32 begins the description of the statue of Our Lady of Montserrat. As seen at the bottom of your screen, the author writes the following.
So we just have a whole bunch of black images. Some black images were turned black by candles. Other black images was really, really black. And then we got white images. So we just confused. In Christian art, I need the history and I need the timestamps of what happened. These images were white. Were they black? Were they white and black at the same time? But he doesn't know. Let me finish the rest of this, man, and I want to bring some stuff out for y'all. Give y'all some information.
Regarding this depiction of the Black Madonna, quote, su cara es moreno y muy bien formada y muy deleitable a la vista, which means her face is dark and very well formed and quite delightful to view. Now, here are the pages which Vocab reference, which is pages 34 and 35. Starting on the back of page 34, the author says the following regarding the image. Ha sido conservada por Dios sin más renovar ni tocar ninguno en ella. It has been preserved by God without anything in her being, renewed or touched up. Then the author adds the following. Sobre el color de ella contaremos aquí el primer milagro.
It's a dude. Somebody asked who's reading. It's a dude. I stated earlier in the video, he's breaking down Vocab's explanation of why these images are black and agreeing with Vocab. And Vocab took his video and put it on his page. All right. So they are both collaborating on why these images are black. They just can't be black. There has to be a reason why, or methodology why, reason why, or candles, whichever you want to choose. They can't just be black. Some of them are just black, but then some of it is methodology. And then some of it was done by candles.
Aunque no sea primero en tiempo. Meaning, regarding her color, we will state here that it's the first miracle.
Oh, Khan. You said I'm talking about the text. Yeah, Khan. Like who? Yeah, Khan. Exactly. Who the hell was gonna go and read that? And then they just said that it wasn't hidden. But why the hell we can't just go and read it? And who the hell gonna find this manuscript and read it? Or this depiction in Latin? Who's gonna read it? Or Spanish, whichever language.
Even if it's not the first in terms of time. I take that to mean that it's the primary miracle, though not necessarily the first one chronologically. Then, if we turn to the next page, which is to say the front of page 35, the following legend is recounted. Hizo llamar a un pintor de Severa llamado Maestre Andrés para que la adobase y reparase. A painter from Cervera, which is a place in Spain, was called in, and he was known as Master Andrés, or teacher, Andrés the teacher. And this Master Andrés, or Maestre Andrés, was called in to fix up and remove the image, to touch up the statue. The author continues with the following.
Why do we have to go through all of this just because to explain a black image? Why? Do we go this deep into white images? Or do we just accept it? Why do we have to go so deep into explaining why these images are black? This is what I want to understand. But nobody goes and questions white Jesus. Nobody goes and questions white Mary. Nobody goes and questions any Caucasian art of Christianity. But we got to have a whole 18-minute, 45 breakdown on why images are black. And they just can't simply be because they're black. This shows the prejudice and the hatred. Because all hate means is you go against. You're going against these black images to take away their authenticity and their value. This is an attempt to assassinate the value, to make black people continue to think, yeah, see, it doesn't matter, really. Foolish, coon black people. But you can't tell me that this is not empowering, that we find black images that were hidden because they wasn't publicized. And the power in understanding that when the only depiction we have of black men in America is gangbangers and thugs. You want to rain on our parade because we found that, hey, look, man, there's some ancient black icons. Wow. Y'all be happy with this information. I'm going to show y'all something too, and then we're going to close out.
Como empezase por las espaldas de la imagen, luego en ese punto cegó. When he began to do that work, he was blinded on the spot. And then on the following page, which is to say the back of page 35, the author bluntly states the following regarding the reason for this miraculous blinding that befell Master Andrés, or Maestre Andrés. Quote, Dios no permitía por alguno fuese renovada. God does not allow for anything on her to be altered. And thus we see what Vocab had alluded to, these sorts of medieval legends about dark images being miraculously protected, and that in turn...
Why does that matter? That shit don't matter. The image is black. This man had to go into read in a whole nother language to try to explain. The point is, it's legend material why they're black. When you can't just simply say, damn, yeah, those images are black. Prejudice. Prejudice.
You know, being sort of tacit evidence of their authenticity or God's approval of those images.
So I guess his hair looking curly, that was also caused by the candles. The candles did all of that except the diamonds that are white. So let me get a couple of precepts. But real quick, before I get some precepts, for you guys that don't know, you have to look this up. All right. Okay. So this is
iconoclast.
You might have heard vocab breeze through it real quick, but you got to go into the meanings of what these words mean. So iconoclast, right? It means a person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. Second definition, a destroyer of images used in religious worship. A supporter of the 18th and 19th century movement in the Byzantine Church, which sought to abolish the variation of icons and other religious images. All right. A Puritan of the 16th or 17th century. So this is a term that happened during the Renaissance. All right. This term, iconoclasm, all right, this happened during the Renaissance period where they attacked these images, all right, and whitewashed a lot of these images. This is where the white images started to come and play. Let's look up the definition of Renaissance. Oh, wait, hold on. All right.
Renaissance.
All right. It says the reveal of art and literature under the influence of classical models in the 14th and 16th century. The culture and style of art and architecture developed during the Renaissance. All right. A revival of or renewed interest in something. All right. So this is a situation that happened. All right. During the 14th and 16th century, it was a reviving of new images. And this is where the images of the so-called Caucasian Christ started to be publicized throughout the world. Because prior to this, and you guys can go deep into it, prior to this, all of the images were people of color. All right. And I'm gonna show you something. So now let me go back here. Watch this. So that proves his. Stop sharing my screen. Somebody said look up whitewashed. Salakia. All right. Somebody said look up whitewash. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's go back and let's look up whitewash. Go back. Just whitewash. Let's see what the brother's talking about. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. You said just whitewashed? Whitewash? Oh, okay. It is.
Whitewash.
Whitewash. A solution of lime and water or of whitening size and water used for painting walls white. Con, this is something I'm learning. A deliberate concealment of someone's mistake or faults in order to clear their name. All right. Painted a wall, building, or room with whitewash. Deliberately attempt to conceal unpleasant or incriminating facts about someone. So I can see what you're saying. You're saying they whitewashed? Absolutely. They whitewashed the images. They whitewashed the images on the wall, a lot of them, to conceal the truth. Absolutely. Absolutely. They painted over the walls to whitewash them. Khan. Wow. All praises for this truth. You can't hide this truth. Now let me show y'all something. Let's go here. Salakia. All right. So let's stop sharing. So now I have a book, and then I'm gonna get 2 precepts. But I want to show you guys this. I got blessed with this. So I got a couple of books. All right. This is Early Spanish Manuscripts and Illumination. I got this book from a sister. I want to say the water to the sister. And she sent these books, and these books cost a pretty penny. I also have, so you'll see in this book, they're the black images, all right, of early Christian art, right? So I just want to show you guys this. I have another book that she sent, all praises, right? This book is the Anakshan Cathedral of the Moscow Krillin, excuse me. But this book also has black images, all right? Black images of pre-Renaissance images. But this is the one that I want to bring out, all right? This sister was so kind enough. Now, this book costs $2,000. This book costs $2,000. I have Russian icons, all right? Russian icons. And if anybody know what this is an expensive book with all, if not all, but most of the black images. You see this? All of the black images of Christian art, Russian icons. I'm going to show you some. And it goes into the history of it. All right. Not only is it black pictures of Christ, depictions of Christ and the disciples, but even bishops. Look at this. Let me show you guys this. Let me take this off real quick. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys this. This sister was beautiful. I really appreciate this sister for sending this. This book is $2,000. I wonder why this book is $2,000. What are they trying to conceal? And why don't they bring this out? Look at these images. Look at these images. Curly hair, black skin. This is an archbishop. This book costs $2,000. But when we think of Christian art, all we think about is Caucasian men. Look at this. This is image 64. Image 64, I'm going to read it. This is St. Nicholas, all right, Archbishop of Myra and Lycia, all right? So this is an archbishop. This is this is just what the bishops were looking like. This is what the ruling class bishops and priests were looking like. See that? All right, let's get another one. Let's get it's a couple that I want to get. All right. These images. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look at their beards and their hair. The texture of their beards and their hair. And a lot of these images, as you read this book, were whitewashed. But look at their hair and look at the beards. Now, I'm going to read this, right? This is a depiction, all right, of when these are the 12 disciples right here. This is image 78 on page 111 of this book. These are the 12 disciples. Shalakia, let me get this out the way. Let me get some more images. All right. This is Russian icons. This book says, the last time I checked was 2 racks. I'm just showing you guys. Hopefully you guys can really see, how I'm showing you. This is an image. Let me see who this is. 90. Let me see who this is supposed to be. Hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna show you guys this image. All right. These are ruling class. So this is supposed to be Saint Nicholas. Icon with scenes from the life of Saint Nicholas. Look at this. Even the saints. Saint Nicholas was black. This is Saint Nicholas right here. See that? Brown skin. These are not just images. These are images of the people that controlled the church at the time. Dark skinned. Let's get more. Who is this right here? This is, let's get another one. I want to get you guys Peter in here. These images. Hold on. And like I said, this book is $2,000 and it's filled with black images. Who is this? This is 116. Okay, this is another image of Saint Nicholas. Hopefully you guys can see it. Look at that. People are black. Look at this man. I hope you guys can see it. Look how dark. Look at his curly hair. Look how dark he is. It's a black man. See that? Yeah, oh, it's $800 right now? Yeah, go get it. Go get that book. I would suggest. And I'm going to make copies of this book too. A lot of the images that people get of the black icons come from this book. All right. Let's get some more. And like I said, when you get this book, read it. Okay. Don't just buy it and then don't read it. Now, here, because this book goes into how they started to whitewash the images. Y'all know this famous picture. Oh, let me turn it this way. Y'all know that famous picture of the dude whitewashing the image? This is all in this book. So all those images that's online that you see, you know, them whitewashing the images, and it goes into detail of why they whitewash and how they whitewash these images. I would like to see Vocab go into that. Why did they whitewash the black images? Yeah, Russian Icons is the title. Go get that book. All right, so let me show y'all one more. Go get that book, Russian Icons. Russian Icons. I suggest everybody. So this is a picture of the Mary and Yahushua. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see it, man. I'm trying to. Let me see. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm trying to do it the best of my ability. Okay, trying to do it to the best of my ability. But you see that? Look at Christ. Look at his afro. Look at his afro. Skin complexion, brown. See that? They won't tell you this. They won't tell you this. It's a lot of these images that I wish you guys could, because I know it's kind of hard to see, but go get this book and read it. Look at this one. This is Christ and disciples, all right, and Mary. Christ, the disciples, and Mary, dark skin. See? But it has to be, oh, let me show y'all this last one. This one right here is the transfiguration of the Lord. All right, so this is when Christ transfigured in front of his disciples. Look at the color of Christ. Look at that. So I guess candles just did all these, huh? Candles. And then all these images, right? They're just mythology. Has to be some type of explanation behind it. They just can't be black, huh? Look at this. Those are the disciples, and that's Christ. You can't just accept the truth. You can't just accept the truth. You can't. They just would never want to accept the truth that these people were dark. Look at this. This is Paul. This is Saint Paul the Apostle. Look at this. This is Saint Paul the Apostle. You look up Saint Paul the Apostle right now, he gonna have stringy. This ain't Saint Paul the Apostle when you look him up right now. Look at his hair. Look at his beard. Look at his complexion. You can't hide this. This is supposed to be Paul. But it has to be an explanation of why these images are black. It has to be. It can't just be simply because black people were royalty and painted the image of what the originality of what Christ and the disciples looked like, which were black, as we pull out in the scriptures, and we can see that. Can't just be the fact that, you know, it got to be some type of other explanation. And somebody said Jewish civilization. Go get all these books. This is another one. Nature Knows No Color Line. This goes into the history of who was controlling Europe during the so-called Dark Ages. All right. Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. Absolutely. Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. All right. Now, who was ruling in Europe? Who had European dominance before the Europeans came into power? All right. Bet y'all didn't know this. Negroes in a coat of arms. Look at this. French, Dutch, and Belgian families with names of Negroes. Look at this. They don't want to tell you this, though. They're not going to tell you that blacks ruled Europe and were the original royal families. You see that? They're not going to tell you that. Look at this. Blacks in a coat of arms. They're not going to tell you that. This is why those images were black, because the people ruling at the time were all dark-skinned people. And they understood the original color of the ancient, the biblical figures. And they were changed into white images, and this history hidden. Look at that, coat of arms. You got to go look this up and research this. This ain't taught in history class. It's not taught in history class. But I bet this is going to be an explanation too, huh? See that? Get this book. Nature Knows No Color Line. King Arthur was black, and King James was a dark-skinned man. It was a black man. They know this history, but they hide this history. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. Black images everywhere. It's just not a couple. These images are everywhere. These images are everywhere. Look it. This is in Spain. This is the book Early Spanish Manuscripts, Illumination. All right. Look at this. It's in Spain. Dark images. This is an image of Christ. See that? But they don't want you to know that. And then they got to give you an explanation and show their prejudice. The images can't just be dark skin and because the people were black. It has to be some type of explanation. Has to be some type of explanation. Look at this. This is the disciples in Christ. Let me show y'all this one. All right, this is in that book right here. I'm gonna show the title for you guys. Let me turn it over. Let me see. All right. Just so I won't butcher the name. The title's right here, where my pinky is. Just so I won't butcher the name. Khan, I got Russian icons. A sister donated it to me, man. All praises. She gave it, you know, and I want to just say I thank that sister and I love that sister for it. She gave me these too. Look at this. Look at these images. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can clearly see that they're dark. Clearly. Clearly. Let's see if I can shine my light on it so you guys can see. Trying my best to show you. Dark images. And they got afros. I wish you could see. Wish you guys could see clearly, but look at this. All the images are dark. Black men. See that? But let Vocab Malone tell you. Let Vocab Malone tell you. There got to be a reason. You understand? Got to be a reason. I wish you guys could really fully see these images, man. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make copies of these and put it all over the internet. It's crazy. Wow. Some of these you can't really see. They're so old. You can see the afros and you can see the pigmentation of them. See that? These. Yeah, Khan, bless that sister. Look at this. I don't know if y'all can see. Look at the afros on them. These are the disciples. This is the Last Supper. I don't know. You probably can't see this over here because it's old. But if you look on this side, you can see this is a picture of the Last Supper. Look at the afros on them. See that? They can't hide this. You want to hide something from a nigga? Put it in the book. But you let Vocab them tell you they ain't trying to hide this. Then why they ain't bringing this out? And why are these images old as hell? And why now all of the images, right? We done went through so many different images. Let me share my screen. That's not being publicized. But ask Vocab this. But when you look up the images, look what you see. Who the hell is this? Who the hell is that? And when did he get like that? When did they start painting him like that? He went from the images we just saw to this. This? Nobody has no problem with this. Nobody got no problem with this. We all accept this. And we smile like happy Negroes. Nobody got no problem with this. Look at this. Look at how they make Job look. This Job right here. This Job right here. Y'all see this? Look at this white man. Nobody got a problem with this. This is fine. But I want to ask Vocab, why the hell Job look like this? When you go to Job 30:30, and Job said in Job 30:30, My skin is black upon me. Why the hell is Job's skin black, but right here, he a white man? Look at him. Look at that. That's Job. I want to ask Vocab that. But let's go to Acts real quick. Watch this. Acts 13:1. Acts 13:1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that were called Niger. You look that word up and you go to the blue letter, that word means black. And it actually can be pronounced nigger. So why are these Barnabas and Simeon being referenced as black? They were called black. But we don't see that. Why was Paul mistaken as an Egyptian? But we got to have explanations of why the images were black. You can't just, it got to be an understanding. It can't just be they black. And we could go all throughout the Bible and we could show. What's this? Let's go to Job 9:24. This is why, because y'all identity theft. This is identity theft. The original people of the book were black, and the Bible knows it. We can go through so many. Moses. I did actually. I did a detailed lesson on this. You guys, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I'm gonna tag it and I'm gonna pin it in the video. Please, after I upload this, I did a detailed lesson on this. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. You cover the faces of the judges thereof. You cover the original people of the book. And like I said, I did a very thorough, detailed lesson on this that I'm going to put, when I upload this, I'm going to put it in the comments and I'm going to pin the video. Go check that video out. So Vocab, your prejudice disgusts me. Khan, you could Google racial incomes and see the black images. Absolutely. 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 See that? They lied and they stole who we really was. Shoot, I gotta get going. I know you said asked if I'm taking questions. I'll do a Q&A soon. Kingdom Come. I'll do a Q&A soon for you if you got any questions. All right, or you can email me too. I know I got a lot of emails. I gotta start getting back to some brothers that emailed me already. You know, I will email us, believers of the way 144k@gmail.com. All right. If you have any questions as of now, but I will do a segment on just having Q&A. But I really want to bring that out, man. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. You know, Renaissance, absolutely. They stole the images. That's how they got white. But Vocab ain't gonna go into that. He's not gonna go into that history. He's not gonna go into that. He just gonna try to justify and have some type of reason. They just can't be black because they black. It has to be a reason why they black. Love y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share the video. I hope y'all was edified. Everybody have a blessed day. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai brought the thumb. And much love. Kwame Yashar, all the rights of the nation of Israel. They can't stop this truth. Keep pushing it. All praises.